All right, let's learn about cubic transformations. So our parent function for that is x cubed. I have it here in Desmos. It looks like that. The point that we're going to transform is still 0, 0. That's what we call a turning point in the graph. It goes up. It has like this weird little dip thing, and then it goes up some more. So it is kind of a weird little graph that it has this little dip here in the middle, but we're going to use 0, 0 to move it. So if you imagine this graph and then you're moving the 0, 0 left, right, up or down. Okay, so you're cubing it, so the numbers are going to get really big really fast. So like for example, 2 to the third power is 8. So to go over 2, we're going to go all the way up to 8, which is right here. Okay, so keep in mind it's growing super duper fast because we're cubing it. So the rules are still the same. Down here you'll see that I have the transformed function rule, which the a out front is your stretch or shrink. If it's negative, it's a reflection. The h is your left or right, and the k is your up or down. Nothing changes. So once again, it's all in parentheses. So we've got this 2 out front. That means we're going to vertically stretch it by a factor of 2. The plus 4 in parentheses is a shift left 4. If you've noticed, everything is the same as it was for parabolas when we described them. But visually, just looking at it, the 2 vertically, so here's my parent function. Here's my new function. It vertically stretched it, so it did make it a little skinnier. And then it moved my 0, 0 point over 4. So that's that one. For number 2, x cubed, negative x cubed, that negative out front. Notice this one doesn't have a parentheses. So since there's no parentheses, there's no horizontal shift left or right. That's all that means. Don't be confused by the fact that there's no parentheses. There doesn't have to be a parentheses. It just means it's not moved left or right. It's moved up 1. So that's what it looks like right there. You're going to have your focal point at 0, 1. And then oh, that was supposed to be negative, wasn't it? Oh, I forgot the negative. Let me put the negative in there. All right, so if I put a negative in front, look at what it did. It flipped it. So there's without negative, there's with the negative. It flipped it upside down. Just as an FYI, to type these in to get the cube, you can just use the caret at the top. The shift 6 will give you the caret, and then you have to hit the over arrow to drop back down, and then whatever other numbers you need to put in there. So that's for that one. For number 3 here, the 1/3, x minus 3 minus 8, the 1/3 is going to shrink it. Let's see what that looks like. 1/3, it makes it fatter. It's shrinking. It's pushing it from bottom to top. We're pushing down on it. And then the minus 3 moves it right 3, and the minus, what is the number? Minus 8 moves it down 8. Once again, don't be confused by this 1/3 out front is different from the minus 8 in the back. The 1/3 is your stretch or shrink because it's multiplied. It's bumped right up against it. It's not added or subtracted, so it's a shrink or stretch. The minus 8 is all the way in the back at the end, and it's subtracted from the whole thing. Same thing here. So that minus 2 in the front is not down 2. That is the number one mistake I'm going to get. Negative 2 in the front is not down 2. And then just to visually see that one, so you've got the negative reflection, you've got the 2, which is a stretch. It's negative, but the 2 is separate from the negative. The plus 6 inside is to the right 6. Nope, that should be to the left 6. I keep making typos. It happens. To the left 6, and then the plus 7. And if I looked at my graph, I'd have seen that I'd have gotten it wrong. So see, it moved that. There's my point. It moved it left 6, and it moved it up 7. So always use Desmos to double check your answers before you submit. You can also ask me to double check them before you submit it. Once it's submitted, it's more difficult for you to redo it. So you can just shoot me a message, say, hey, Miss Young, can you check this before I turn it in? And I'll check it for you. Let me know if you have questions.